Good evening and welcome to this special edition of the Demolition live stream. I'm your host, Mark Anthony, and thankfully I can still remember how all this works. Now, as many of you will know, I stopped doing our daily live shows last week so that I could concentrate on a new series of shows over on Instagram. But we've since found that Instagram does have its own limitations, and there are certain things we can't do over there that we'd much rather do over here. And a case in point is tonight's show. Oh, excuse me. As regular readers of the Demolition magazine will be aware, in November last year, I got one of the first glimpses of a new range of British-built dual-fuel demolition robots. Excuse me again. Now, under normal circumstances, I would have been out on site now to see one at work, to get a real flavour of just what these machines can do. But then, as we're all very painfully aware, 2020 happened. And so to bring us up to speed with the development of these machines, plus a few more besides, I'm delighted to welcome to the show Chris James, who is the Managing Director of ES Manufacturing, the company behind these demolition robots. And while I'm bringing Chris in, if you have any questions on the machines or the topics we're discussing, please use the comments function as we go along. But in the meantime, let's get Chris on. Good evening, Chris.
Evening, Mark. How are we doing?
All good so far. Yeah, enjoying the peace and quiet at the moment. Let's start at the beginning. How did you come to be involved in the demolition robot business?
I mean, to be fair, it's one of those strange stories, if you like, that we've always manufactured. I mean, my father is a very highly qualified electronic engineer. We've manufactured a range of very specialist electrofusion tools that join the polyethylene gas and water pipes, the likes of National Grid, Anglian Water, that kind of thing. Manufactured lighting towers. So, and then we had a big plant hire division. So we've always had hot in-house. We've always been proud of our own being in control of our own destiny. So we've had highly qualified hydraulic engineers, mechanical engineers, electronic engineers, and we've always had our in-house CAD and IT. But yeah, an existing customer of a competitor, a demolition robot competitor, came and spoke to us one day, had an issue with the machine, couldn't get repaired quickly. It was a hydraulic issue, so it was nothing that wasn't too far away from a standard excavator. Of course, these are so far, as are Brock and Husqvarna, so far away from standard excavators, you could be on the other end of the scale. But anyway, went out to look, did the repair on this machine, and just got talking. Customer we knew very well, knew our capabilities, said, is there any chance at all, and this is 5-6 years ago, we could look at, a bit of a joint venture with them and what would it take to get involved? I mean, wow, that was just a very off the cuff comment. But yeah, me being me, started looking into it, dug down at the figures, huge amounts of research and development over the last 5-6 years, millions of pounds have gone into it. But yeah, we did our market research. We went across the world, into the mining industry, the tunneling industry, the demolition, nuclear, and really that the more we found out and the more we got our in-house CAD people involved and electronic engineers, the more we thought it'd be viable. But not only viable, we didn't want to copy, the existing market. We wanted to bring some new ideas and new advantages to the market.
Yeah, there's a couple of points there. I mean, obviously, I've seen one of these machines in the flesh, and it does look markedly different to, you mentioned some of the other brands that are out there. It looks markedly different, and you seem to have come to the market all guns blazing. This is not just one prototype model. This is a full range, literally from day one, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we absolutely respect the competition. We know what's out there. I'd rather talk about what we can do and what we look at. And yes, we come with a full range from the DR125, DR300, DR450, and DR850, and that really covers the traditional, let's say, 110 in another manufacturer's size up to their 800. Weighing in at 1.6 tons, 3 tons, 4.5, and 8.5. Well, 9 tons, close to 9 tons. So yes, we have prototypes and we have produced a smaller than a DR125 machine, but for our export markets with United States and Canada, feedback we've got, we're more happy to concentrate on the 4 sizes we've got there, but certainly the DR300 and above.
Now, before we get into the details of the machines themselves, they've got quite an unusual name, or it's certainly an unusual name for me, a cooler. Where does that come from, and what does it mean?
I mean, look, and again, I'll happily answer that, but why Coca-Cola or McDonald's? But it's a cooler means shark in Russian. Two reasons really. Well, 3. 1, we like the sound of it. 2, it lends its name nicely, and the design for fins on the machine, so that ties in. And look, we hope that the Akula will be top of the food chain. So yeah, it's got aesthetically pleasing to look at with the fins, and yeah, it's you don't normally mess with a shark, do you, Mark? So
well, I certainly don't know. I haven't been in the sea since I saw Jaws, and I do like the top of the food chain. I don't know who's writing your copy for you, but they're doing a good job. So looking at the machines themselves, can you take me through? I mean, I mentioned the fact that they're dual fuel, but can you take me through some of the key features and benefits of the machines as you see them?
How long have you got, Mark?
Well, I've got as long as the audience will stick around. They're sticking around at the moment, so you carry on.
No, that's good news. Look, something we've always found as a manufacturer, what floats somebody's boat doesn't float another person's boat. But we went to the market and we listened. And I'm not saying other manufacturers don't, but we certainly asked the market, the people we spoke to, what they liked and didn't like. And as I say, we don't look to copy, we look to change things and move forward. So, our machine has got a much longer arm, lots longer reach than we believe the competition. So, much higher reach, further and deeper. With the, we have it's powered by a world-leading Kubota engine in every size. And then we have a German electric motor. So, pure world-class engineering for the components we buy in. And with the software that is designed in-house and installed in-house, that's coupled up with the German motor, allows us to run at least 30% smaller generator power source in electric mode than the competition, which ticks a very big relevant tick on the green box, and it's it's a lower running cost. Simple as that. The DR125 for stability has an expanding undercarriage. All models can come with dozer blade front or back, outriggers front or back, or outriggers at the front, dozer blade at the back. In Demolition, we spoke to a number of international customers that like the double dozer blade to push the rubble. Now, look, as I said, you can't please all the people all the time, but you tell us what setup you want, and we can supply that. The remote control, we believe, is certainly a very advanced, technologically safe unit. So it's got an anti-tilt sensor in that you can set to varying different degrees. So if the user was to trip or to fall, the unit cuts out. So if the unit was to fall on the ground and hit the joysticks or something like that, the machine is not going to be spinning around. It's not going to be causing a danger. So we've looked at vital health and safety, because let's face it, all of these machines, one of their key selling points are the health and safety benefits and advantages, where you're having a man or a lady not in danger and operating it from 50, 100, 200 meters away. We've been a British manufacturer, having the items in stock here. Customers have got access to fairly priced parts instantly. We carry a full range of parts in stock. Other slight advantages: the tracking speed. It can track, quite a bit faster than a standard demolition robot. The slewing speed as well. So we've gone for speed and power across the range. And then, two other, I'd like to say unique, or definitely two other advantages dealing with myself and my family business. Now, look, we're small enough to care, but big enough to compete. You've got access. You are working directly with a manufacturer. So if you come, one of the customers comes to us and said, we don't quite need this, we don't quite need that, and of course they're prepared to work with us on development costs and place an order at the end. then yeah, you're working with a manufacturer, and we're happy to be proactive and flexible. And then finally, in the UK, and we're talking to an international partner for literally across the world, we're able to offer very bespoke manufacturer supported finance. 2 years interest free, no interest for 2 years, small deposits of anything from 0% deposit, subject to status, up to 10% or more if you want to put more down, over 1 to 5 years. If you want a finance deal, if £150,000, because for me it certainly is, and I'm sure for many people watching this, is too much for initial outlay, we can get you aggressive, low rate, hire purchase or lease agreements over 1 to 5 years, making it very, very affordable for you.
See, that's another example, Chris. I don't like to sort of, I'm not in the job of selling your product for you, but you do seem to have come to the market basically fully formed. Sorry?
I said you said something different off air. You said you were going to sell it for. I'm joking.
Well, listen, we didn't discuss the commission, but as I say, you seem to have come to the market fully formed. Even things like having the finance in place, that's not the normal way, is it?
No, I mean, I don't want to sit here and say we know it all, because we certainly don't. And that's what I said. We approach the market, but we have been in business 33 years. We have been on the other side. So, and we've bought, we've back in our plant hire days, which I'm delighted. I couldn't be more pleased to say we're well and truly out of, and have been for 12 plus months. But we dealt with quality brands like Kubota, Bobcat, Doosan, Caterpillar, Hitachi, and we know what we wanted. And even from the service side. So ES Manufacturing has been going 33 years. But we changed our name back in February last year from Electro Services. Now, Electro Services started in my family house in the garage, my father servicing electronic equipment, sorry. And the reason why I bring that up is, we've seen stuff when we manufacture, we've seen it from the service angle, that if it does break down, on site or whatever it may be, or just as routine service, that parts and components are easy to get at, as well as being robust and reliable. But if there is a problem or a service issue, it's there to be, it's not going to take 3 hours, 5 hours, because I don't like buzzwords and cliches, but time is money. And our engineers, if we're servicing, our time is money. So yeah, we have come to it from the 33 years experience, from that electronic experience that, my father and many other people within the business have, the hydraulics, the mechanics. We know that, with how aggressive, and obviously it could be a different market, but how aggressive the plant hire market is, and, the option to have asset finance is the only way that, a lot of the Volvos, the Kubotas, the Komatsus are able to shift the volume they do, because, people can't afford to just spend out hundreds and hundreds of thousands. So they need affordable asset finance. So yeah, we've not sitting here and saying we know it all or done it all, but we've tried to look at it from the health and safety angle, the operator's angle, the accountant's angle, this access to fairly priced spares, and we think we've done a reasonable job of ticking all the boxes.
Now, I made the mistake of sending you a message in advance of this get-together, and I mentioned the fact that you were coming into a saturated market, which you very kindly put me straight on. But you are coming into a market where there is one brand, and we all know who that is. I mean, their name is effectively synonymous with this market. How do you compete with that level of history that company has got?
Absolutely. And, like I say, the market, for many reasons, is big enough for, for the company you mentioned. There's another company that would probably like to be mentioned as well, that have been competing over the last 5 or 6 years. Look, so answer your question, how do we compete with that? Well, straight away, we compete by being the only company in the world that I'm aware of, and please somebody put me straight, but certainly against the manufacturers we're insinuating there, Mark, that supplies a dual diesel and electric in one unit. Now, of course, some of these people watching might not want or need a dual unit, and that's fine. We can provide electric only, and we can provide diesel only. However, once you get to the DR300 and above, I am very, very confident that aside of the asset finance, our price is more competitive than our competition versus their single model. So their single diesel or their single electric, our dual unit is more competitively priced. You know, and of course with the German motor, the Kubota engine, the British engineering, you know, we believe it is a quality product as well. So, you know, I'd point to that factor as a big point. And then also, as I sent you, Mark, yeah, I mean, and I've got the email up here, kindly provided by Eleanor at another publication. I know you guys know each other, but you know, this came from the Robotics Business Review, National Demolition Association, and it reads exactly this: the construction robot market. So the key words there, the construction robot market, is to rise from 22.7 million in 2018 to 226 million in 2025, which is a 9% growth, compound growth year on year. Even if that is the worldwide market, that's still a massive increase. But I don't believe that accounts for tunneling, mining, nuclear, etc. But even if it does, 1,000% increase in 7 years. So, and we all know health and safety. We all are committed to health and safety, and that's the way the world moves. So I think there's, our shark will be top of the food chain. We hope our Akula, but we know there's enough room for everybody, I believe.
There's a couple of things I'd like to unpack from that, if I may, Chris. One of the things that you mentioned there is this dual fuel, which obviously I've told lots of people about. How does, in your mind, how does that work? Is that diesel to get it on station and then electric to work, or is that literally down to the customer's preference?
I mean, it's literally the one thing I didn't have is a remote control by the side of me. I should have done, but it's the flick of a switch. It is a flick of the switch, so you turn the unit off. And you're currently in diesel mode, you flick the switch, a toggle switch, like your light switch. A toggle, you flick it on or off, up or down for diesel or electric, and then you're in that mode. As simple as that. Now, something as simple as, and honestly, as I said, different things tick different people's boxes. But we've had people, especially, a couple of shows here, we've had people saying, oh my God, well, they need the electric motor inside or in a tunnel or whatever it may be. But wow, we can unload it from the vehicle. We can track it, 300 yards, 500 meters, across site, and we don't have to keep plugging or unplugging or lifting or whatever. It can get there on its own steam. Now, yes, of course it can, and that's nice. That's a huge advantage. But we didn't really do it for that reason. Although one of the things you asked my initial question, how did we get into the market? When we looked at the electric only. And we had 600 standard excavators at that time on a nationwide hire fleet. We couldn't get our heads around it. A, the cables laying everywhere, and B, how the heck do you load it and unload this thing, without any diesel power? And my personal opinion and feedback we're getting is quite hard, with a bit of a pain in the backside. So it's got that, straight advantage straight away. But then depending on what your contract stipulates, you might, for whatever reason, have to use diesel or choose to use diesel, or you might absolutely certainly have to use electric if you're inside.
Now, you also mentioned in that survey by the National Demolition Association, they would describe these as construction robots. Obviously, you're here on the Demolition live stream, but these machines obviously do go beyond just the demolition field. What sort of applications are you expecting to see? I mean, you've mentioned mining and tunneling. Is there anything beyond that?
Yeah, I mean, look, I've had a couple of bespoke inquiries, and I'm very close to a guy that works on the rail, and he's using robots on the rail for works. So they have been adapted to rail runners, and they go up and down the line doing rail works with suction excavators and other things. Obviously, as you say, there's the nuclear. There's so many opportunities, and as you say, as I say, we are the manufacturer. So, without being stupid, but I've been serious. If you're 2 arms on a thing, front and back, if you're going to prepare, if you're going to work with us and pay for the R&D, we'll create one with you with 2 arms. That's I can't see that ever being needed. But if you've got an application where you don't want to be or can't be close to what you're breaking, cutting, crushing, lifting, moving, then there's just so many. So many possibilities.
Yeah, I mean, I guess ultimately it's not an excavator in the truest sense, but it is a tool carrier, isn't it? I mean, and ultimately, I guess the flexibility and the amount of applications you can put it in is going to be hinged on the attachments that you can hang off the front end, isn't it?
Absolutely, yeah, or exactly what you want to put on the front end, and like what I can't go to greater pains to get across, as I'm sure the other two main manufacturers would support, is these things couldn't be further from standard excavators. Nothing wrong with standard excavators at all, but standard excavators are made for a very different industry and application completely. Everybody's machine is in a standard excavator term, is a pocket rocket, is a motorbike. It's just an absolute engines on wheels. The power to weight ratio is immense. So of course, you could pretty much use it like a standard excavator, but why would you pay any one of us £200,000 when you can probably get a standard excavator for £50,000? But you're just getting such a difference in power, such a difference in flexibility. You might as well compare it. I don't know. I really don't know. I can't think of a stupid comparison, Mark, but there is no.
So the obvious question, which is the question that obviously is on the tip of everyone's tongue at the moment, how has the COVID-19 pandemic impacted upon your rollout plans?
Well, it's been wonderful, obviously. No. It's it's look, to be honest, as a business, look, there's been across for our business, it's immense financial pain and impact. And the night, Monday, the 23rd of March, without even looking, whatever it was, I think it sticks in my brain. Yeah, well, it was the night that Boris Johnson, in the UK said, we're on lockdown. Then I did what I believed was to be the right thing, and we said to all our staff, we're on lockdown. I think furlough agreed existed at that point, but we said, look, we're going to, and we paid all our staff 100% during that time, even people that were new to the business, that didn't qualify for furlough. Now we had two sales positions advertised. I actually used that time to increase that to 5, and during that time we've taken on 5 extra sales reps for the UK. We've taken on an assistant production manager. We've taken on 2 more engineers. We've just tightened up the workshop a little bit. So we've actually used the time to have a slight recalibration, if you like. I haven't been sitting there crying into my gin. That affect the taste of it anyway, which I don't like. But yeah, we've tried to we've increased we've updated our CRM, our customer relationship system with our IT. We've redone our marketing literature. We've tried to. Of course, it's been horrifically painful. I'm pleased to say, the UK government has backed us. So that's hugely valued and appreciated. That's the word. I will make sure that this business, pays the UK taxpayer back for that. But yeah, we've recalibrated where we can. Of course, it hasn't helped production. Of course, it stopped production for 8-10 weeks. We came back fully on the Tuesday after bank holiday 2 weeks ago. The 26th of May, whatever it may be. But in that time, I have personally, I personally worked hard because I haven't been on furlough as such. I'm a director, and we've made plans and tried to do the best for the future. So in the most stupid, horrible, weird way, 10% without the phones ringing, as you said, and it's enjoying the peace and quiet and everything like that. It's actually given some time to do lots of little things and pull things together that you normally wouldn't have time. Now, I don't ever want a repeat of it, and I never wanted it, and it's horrific what's happened, but we've used it to the best of our advantage.
No, it's refreshing to hear. I have got a few more questions, but we've had a couple of comments in. First off is Craig Rule, who I guess you will know, proud to be part of this fantastic company. He's probably sat next door to you at the moment, isn't he?
No, he's not, but he would probably want a pay rise or something stupid like that. So,
we've had.
I can say now that's not happening, Mark. So
we've had another one in from Joanne Hindley. Don't know who Joanne is. She's just saying hello.
She doubles up as my partner. There we go.
Oh right, okay. In that case, yeah, it's just your fan club, really, isn't it?
Well, I don't think I have, but hey, there you go, mate. There you go.
I have got a more pertinent question in this, or a second, but just want to get back. The demolition robot is, and I was quite surprised actually when I came to your launch. The demolition robot is not your only product offering for the demolition business. You've got a hydraulic breaker range as well.
Yes, yeah. We manufacture hydraulic breaker, the Molotov. Russian again. There's a theme there. Russian for hammer, Mark, Molotov. Yeah. So we've got the Molotov range. Craig, and all the sales team that that's their livelihood. That's their bread and butter. We absolutely want and need to be selling Akula robots. 4 or 5 a month, would be lovely, and that gives you an idea for, we're not aiming for 50 a month, and good thing. Of course, we'd love 50 a month. But yeah, the Molotov hydraulic breaker is the bread and butter, is the volume, is the, and we go from micro 0.8 ton through to 55 ton. Again, in stock, tens and tens and tens of them, constantly in stock. Thousands of spares. The reps, my business development managers that are watching, they know they're welcome to bring customers to our factory for the robot, for the hammers, and to see the stock of the components and the items in and the hammers themselves. So yes, we do that, and then we're proud to have joined up with Trevi Bene, Italian company who supply across the world, for their full range of attachments. Crushers, shears, pulverizers. I was very impressed with Paolo and all of the company in Italy, their production facility, their testing facility, their commitment. Their 20,000 square feet, I think, a building just with components in, spares. We've supplied some spares to a customer up in Yorkshire today, literally in stock in Italy, because as we feel our way, we can't be stocking catalogue that big, but in stock in Italy, the customer's going to get them tomorrow. So it doesn't really matter, whether they're in London, Glasgow, or Devon, the customer's still got next day service. So yeah, I mean, now we can offer a true to the demolition industry and all other industries, whether it's a micro or, a 3 ton shear, Trevi Bene go up to 300 ton. So it married up perfectly. So, they don't do hammers. So that the marry up, the relationship, the synergy, fitted the Akula range, didn't compete with the Molotov, and we're now able to offer, a full portfolio.
So that Trevi Bene range is going beyond just attachments for the Akula range. It's literally the entire thing.
That's it. So we looked at, and that was the reason for the opening discussions was. To complement the Akula range. Your viewers will get a feel for me already. My opinion is, now look, we don't want to do things that are unrelated and water it down and be a jack of all trades, because that's not what this business has ever been. We specialise in certain areas. But why would we, if we're supplying a crusher for an 8-10 ton machine, why would we not supply a crusher for a 50 ton machine? I saw no incentive to not supply the full range. So, we've done a deal that we're very comfortable with Trevi Bene. I say, they've been going 30 years, turned over 30 million euros, deal in, I think, 100 countries with X amount of dealers, so they've got the same kind of refreshing attitude. They're hungry, they're committed to customer service. They truly are. You see the spares they keep in stock, and the speed they get back to us and my sales staff at. That they welcome customers to their facility. But they say just drop in. If you don't think we're making this here, just drop in. But obviously they like a bit of notice. But yeah, they have the same ethos in it, and it fitted really well.
That shows real confidence when somebody's just willing to allow you to just turn up at a moment's notice, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
So I'm going to get back to the where the obvious question is, where can viewers find out more? But we've had a question in here from Jeff Pinion, and I actually saw Jeff at the launch of your machine. Just I've just lost the stream for a second there, but I basically he wants to see when he can actually get to grips with one of your machines. Any idea on when or where that's likely to be?
Well, we've got a DR300 literally coming off the production line. It should have been off 2-3 weeks ago, but obviously, we all know that story. But yeah, we've got a DR300 and a DR450 coming off the production line within the next 2 weeks maximum. Then we've got our demonstration facility at Biggleswade, Bedfordshire, so 15-20 minutes from where I'm sitting now. And that's specifically there, for exactly that, Jeff. And all, so you can come and have a touch and feel. We've got Trevi Bene shears there, relevant size shears and crushers. And if you're in France, bonjour. If you're in France, so you can see one with our French dealer that we proudly signed up, Dynamic TP. That's Dynamic TP. Sylvain is one of the two directors there, and we're very proud to bring them on board as a fresh. They've been going nearly 3 years, but they've gone from nothing to I think 4 million turnover in those 3 or 4 years. Again, they have the right attitude. When we take, I want to point this out. To be fair, when we take on dealers, we are not interested primarily, in the amount of cash and the quick order for 5-10 machines. Of course, that's nice, but that is secondary. A primary concern for me, for my brand, for the reputation, and brands. Now, look, I'm not saying for 1 second I could ever aspire, but we aspire to be like Caterpillar. That name is synonymous with quality, reliability, world class. Now, we know there's competition in the market. We know we're going to be looking to get ridiculed or shot at. So we want to make sure the dealers we approve are committed. If our customer phones up and there is an issue or technical issue or whatever, or question, we know they're going to get back to them. I'm wholly uninterested in having £1 million check, selling somebody 5, 6, 7 machines, selling them to them once, then not supporting them, and then with Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, etc., the Akula range getting a bad name because the dealer didn't back it up. So that's that's not what we're about. We've been going 33 years. I will make sure that this business is going another 33 years, and the Akula range is a pivotal part of the success of this business going forward.
Fair play. The final question then, I guess, Chris, before I let you get back to your evening, is where can viewers find out more? Is there a website that you'd like to direct people to?
Yeah, and I'll be honest, there is. So it's www.esmanufac.com. So manufac, shopping at the sea. So esmanufac.com, which is obviously short for ES Manufacturing. We are upgrading the website. It's perfectly fine, perfectly happy with it. I've not been ever one for flashing images and scrolling and everything like that. We are getting more content on there, but yeah, it's simple to find your way around and informative. But like I say, if you want to find out more, the best thing is please email sales@ES Manufac. So that's Echo Sierra Manufac.com. Sales@esmanufac.com. And either myself, Paul Grobler, who's our international sales manager, or one of our other 6 UK dedicated, passionate, driven sales managers will gladly be in touch with you and give you all the information and answer any questions that you may have.
That's fantastic. Look, Chris, I'm going to let you get back to the to your evening. I really appreciate you joining us tonight. I wish you every success with the company. As I say, I've had a cursory look at the machine. I look forward to seeing one in the flesh or in the iron, as it were. But every success with that going forward.
Thank you. And obviously, we'll talk about, but you're very welcome down in the next couple of weeks. To along with Jeff and whoever, to have a touch and feel and get a much deeper insight.
It's a long while since somebody invited me out for a touch and a feel, so I may take you up on that.
There you go. It's your lucky night, Mark. Lucky night. All right, then.
Chris, all the very best.
Take care.
Cheers now.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So there you are. Looks like we had a good crowd in tonight, so thank you very much for joining us for that. Hope you found it interesting. I'm going to take this video and put it over on our YouTube channel, and when I do that, I will add a card to the video as well, because we've actually filmed. The machine was static at the time, but we actually filmed the cooler machine at the launch, as I say, back in November, so you can actually get a better handle on exactly what it looks like. Nothing much more to say, really. I used to finish these things with "stay safe and stay well." That's still very much the final message. Look after yourselves, look after your family, your friends, and your colleagues. Thanks for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it, because I realise it's out of hours. But we're back here again, bizarrely, at 6 o'clock tomorrow night as well. We've got a double header tomorrow. We've got the guys from Cantrack and the guys from Gap Group talking about plug and play asset tracking software and systems. I've got to admit, when you say that out loud, it doesn't sound like the most fascinating subject. But when you think that people and vehicles and plant are the two biggest costs for any company in this business, being able to track them efficiently and effectively and simply, above all else, has a real benefit. So if you can join us tomorrow night, we'll be here at 6 o'clock, as I say, with the guys from Cantrack and Gap Group. In the meantime, have a great evening. Thanks for joining us, and I'll see you again very, very soon.